Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is going to be a quick update because we just got the information we had to share real quickly. I'm sure many of you know that IShowSpeed is on his way to Ghana. As at the time of this recording, he's currently in Ivory Coast, and so his next stop would be in Ghana. And we'll be trying to get a few, exclusives for y'all because that's what we do here at OSN. And thanks to our DTS intelligence team, we've gotten something for you guys, something that you can work with. Okay. I must admit that we cannot share every single thing that we have received because obviously we have to protect our sources and also maintain that relationship in making sure that we do what we agree to share as much as we can with y'all. Okay, so what we've done is we've spoken to sources close to Speed's team, and we've spoken to a government official as well. This is what we can confirm. So we start with the itinerary. Speed will be here on Monday, as you may already know by now. He was originally supposed to have spent 2 days here, but after extending his South Africa stay to 3 days, the schedule got compressed. So now Ghana is going to be a 1-day stop, unfortunately. Namibia will be his final African country because the tour is ending on January 28th. If you remember the trailer and the flight that came after, the tour is supposed to end on January 28th. So they can't afford to, do more than that. So those of you who were saying Namibia was cancelled, it was not. In fact, one of Speed's cameramen mentioned under a Namibian article on January 6th, suggesting that the trip has rather been rescheduled. So what that means is right after Ghana, he would head to Namibia and wrap it up. We also do know that his arrival is going to be quiet. There won't be any grand welcome at the airport, so don't expect any fanfare or any government delegation show up with Adowa dancers or whatever. That's not going to happen. He's going to come in very quiet, and if you check, that has been consistent with how his team has operated across every country on the store. Now, we wanted to find out how government was preparing ahead of his arrival to Ghana because we saw a lot of things flying around, and clearly we could tell that government wasn't involved, but we had to be sure that indeed government was not involved in his itinerary or planning, especially when we noticed that the tourism authority were significantly involved in Speed's itinerary. Okay, you could also say the same for Kenya as well, the tourism authority, and Ethiopia as well. You could tell that they played certain roles in positioning the narrative as part of Speed's itinerary, but essentially the core of it is government has no involvement in his itinerary, right? When we spoke to our source at the Ghana Tourism Authority, and I quote, he says, IShowSpeed's visit is not a government-led or government-managed engagement. He travels with his own private team, and they independently plan and execute their own itinerary. If you look at all the countries that he has visited so far, he has not met with any government officials, and that is their standard policy. The only support requested from their end has been security coordination, visa on arrival, customs and clearance support. Beyond these roles, there is no direct government involvement in his program. So essentially, that is what government's position would be. Their official position would be to ensure that the coordination of their security is on point. And I'm even told with the security, apart from the security he comes with, government is going to provide him state security in addition to private security. So they'll be working hand in hand. And one of the names that have come up is bouncers with a degree. Initially, we thought it was going to be Aswavo, but we've heard bouncers with a degree as part of the security coordination. Government is also going to be helping with the visa on arrival and the customs and clearance, because they're coming in with equipment and so on and so forth. So government is providing that assistance as well. So this was when we were just about to provide this information because we also wanted to find out what the possible activities would be during his time here. Now we do know that because of the compressed schedule, he was supposed to be here for just a day. That I've already shared, right? So that essentially meant that he couldn't make it to Cape Coast. So Cape Coast was not going to be a part of the schedule. He was going to do most of the experiences and the rounds in Accra. But here is where it gets interesting. As much as our source tells us that government is looking to play the role they are playing, which is just support the entry and exit part of it. Oh, by the way, the reason why Speed is able to access these African countries and move in one day after the other, where it looks like it doesn't have to deal with any immigration issues, is simply because the team travels on a private jet. Okay, as soon as he's done, he hops on the plane, is off to the next one. That explains how he's able to access these. And clearly, from what we have received, the information we've received, it is evident that for all of these other countries he's been to, the governments play a role in making sure that if it's visa on arrival, they get that, they clear them, assist with customs and so on and so forth. Remember when he was supposed to have gone to Namibia and that didn't happen? The report from Namibia was the required aviation permits were not submitted on time. Okay, so that's again backs the logic that he needs, or the team will need, some of these support from all governments responsible for his arrival in the respective countries listed in this African tour. I'm told this is a part 1 of the tour. There's going to be a part 2 when it comes to one end on the 28th. So now back to Ghana. The office of the president has had to step in, i.e. the foreign ministry and the diaspora affairs office at the office of the presidency. They've had to step in because a chopper would have to be arranged by a government to fly speed to Cape Coast and back. And this was a trip, like I said, was initially ruled out due to time constraints. Now, this may be linked to a possible meeting with Sharaf Mahama, who is now the face of boxing promotion in Ghana. And why Sharaf Mahama? Because there is a boxing activity as part of Speed's itinerary, which automatically means that either Bukom or Jamestown will be one of the locations, or both of them, who knows. All right. There's also word that Chef Abi may meet him with some jollof rice. We can't confirm or deny if they have finalized on that conversation, but it has been suggested. And it's simply because you know that this particular conversation of jollof rice has followed him in every West African country he's visited. When you look at the creator side of things, we are also told that there's going to be a brief meetup with selected Ghanaian creators. Okay, now how that is going to happen, we don't know, because as much as people allege and claim that his visits are scripted, some of the activities that happen along the way are not. So anything at all could change depending on how he feels. I'm told he moves a lot with his instincts. So depending on how he feels, he can choose to do something or not do it. Okay, and the team would have to follow suit. Okay, and so there's indeed a part on the itinerary where he is looking forward to meeting some selected Ghanaian creators. And one name that we have seen is Kevthewave. So Kevthewave, if you are watching, all the best and make the best out of this meeting when you meet it. Okay, but there is one creator for sure that's on Speed's meetup list that we can confirm that is a must he meets him, and that creator is a Village Beast. Now, if you followed Speed streams for a while, you remember this video.
Yo, I keep seeing this Village Beast talking shit online, bro. When I come to Ghana, bro, just know, bro, I'm not playing with you, bro. Village Beast.
This video is for IShowSpeed. So there is a guy in my village that thinks he can beat you in the race. So his name is
Village Beast. Yo, IShowSpeed. I'm ready for you. Let's race. No more talking. Shh. Pull up.
Village Beast. You keep calling me out for a race. You keep talking shit. Watch this, Village Beast.
Yes, that moment may finally happen. As to where that is going to happen, we don't know, okay? No, we don't have any information on that, all right? Yeah, so that's just about, Speed will definitely also be at the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, and we are told that our very own and Africa's very own Wodemaya might link up with him there. There's also another side attraction as part of his itinerary, which is a mural that has been painted by our very own globally acclaimed Mo Awudu. He's a graffiti artist from Ghana. For those of you who are not familiar with his work, he's done quite a number of things across our highways, and especially for events like Afrofuture. You know, best to ever do it from this side. So if you go on my Twitter, I put up a tweet of the finished work, or what the finished work is supposed to look like. Mo Awudu has already started. He started painting the first lines yesterday around 3:30. So I'm sure between now and the time Speed, actually touches down, it should be done. And there's a possibility that he may meet Mo Awudu. There's also a Ghanaian artist who goes by the name Oscar Danso Art. Now, this guy created a portrait of Speed using discarded fabrics. All right. We can confirm that the team has seen this video. They've taken notice of this video, and there's a high possibility that they will meet Oscar. Fun fact, we shared it with our source, as part of our, little plugins. So there's a possibility that they could meet Oscar. So Oscar, if you are watching, and stand by to meet the team and present it to Speed, okay? Stand by to meet the team and present it to Speed. I'm sure they'll find a way to touch base with you and reach out to you. Now, some people are asking why this is a big deal. You know, I even saw a tweet saying, why should we care about impressing him and all of that? You see, on the surface, it sounds like a fair critique. Why are we so pressed about a 21-year-old YouTuber coming to Ghana? So let me put it in perspective, because this is my economy, this is my department, this is my industry. And I tell you why people like us are not only excited, but we are really hoping we deliver as a country. Now, this dude has 50 million YouTube subscribers and count. 50 million. Ghana's population is what, 34 million, right? This dude has 50 million YouTube subscribers and count, all right? He has millions more across TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms. He averages 200,000 plus concurrent viewership on live streams. Sometimes you notice that his streams would often peak around 600,000 live viewers. I remember when he went to Asia, he had 1 million people watching him live. Let's talk about the actual mechanisms at play here, because it goes beyond the theory. There is something we call the democratization of soft power. When you look at nation branding, traditionally, it would require a country to invest in tourism campaigns. So a typical example is Rwanda, even Morocco during the AFCON, right? Because everybody is trying to sell themselves as the next tourist destination to be at in the world. Everybody's looking to rank themselves because it comes with its own benefits. So normally, when it comes to nation branding, the states invest a lot of money in tourism campaigns. So like I said, Rwanda, they have been on this Visit Rwanda campaign with clubs like Arsenal, PSG, and so on and so forth. And I don't want to get into the numbers because I need to double check the numbers in recent times, but it's a lot of money. A lot of millions of dollars are going there, all right? South Africa has done same. Dubai has done same. Recently, not too long ago, Dubai had creators like Dance God Lloyd, our very own Dance God Lloyd, and DJ Kapi, and other creators come together to shoot content just to promote Visit Dubai. It's all part of the nation brand, right? As for the other things like the diplomatic outreach programs and, you know, cultural exchanges and stuff like that, that one, it is there. It is right before us. It hides in plain sight. They also look at how we export our culture through our very own traditional media. And to be very honest, you must agree that this takes years of sustained effort. But when you look at Speed Store, it inverts this model completely. One content creator like Speed and his mileage and his leverage with such authentic reach can achieve what years of traditional marketing cannot. Because this is live, this is unscripted. Even though some may argue that it's scripted, you cannot hide the genuine impact that this exposure brings to the viewers. And there's a level of trust that is attached to the exposure precisely because it is not looking like a polished advertisement. Our very own Wodemaya, who has traveled across many African nations, amplifying the positives and, you know, really sharing what each African country contributes to the global tourism economy, has done that for some time now. Now, even Wodemaya has suffered a lot of allegations and claims that he has been paid by these governments to do so. I can't confirm or deny, but I'm telling you that even with Wodemaya, he has suffered that brand of being seen as one who is just advertising a country and not being real with his content. And that's simply because he's not live streaming it, he's pretty much recording it. Okay, so it creates that whole impression that he's just advertising the country. And even if he is advertising the country, there's nothing wrong with it. That people get paid to do so, all right? So while people are debating whether we should care, the truth is countries like Benin just received what amounts to millions of dollars in free tourism marketing. Senegal too can say same. They showcased, you know, a type of history to tens of millions of people around the world. Ethiopia's hotels are reporting unprecedented international interest. What makes this guy different from traditional celebrities is that his audience are predominantly Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? These are people between the age of 10 or 12 and say 25, 26 years old. Now, these guys are going to be the tourists, investors, and cultural consumers of the next 30 to 40 years. So reaching them now through a medium and a messenger like Speed, in whom they trust, is long-term strategic positioning. Whereas you can argue for a content creator and a YouTuber like Wodemaya, who appeals to an older generation. So someone like Speed represents the future of such amplification. Wodemaya has already tapped into the present or the current because he appeals to an older demographic. But Speed is the investors and the tourists of the future. So we can't afford to downplay this moment because there's a 12-year-old kid somewhere in perhaps Columbus, Ohio, somewhere in China, somewhere in who knows, wherever, who is just watching these streams. I mean, look at the impact of Speed stream in Benin. Even within Africa, some people are blown away. They are surprised. Benin has just had this facelift of tourism. Like it is as if it's become like a hidden treasure that has been uncovered. That is even for our generation. So imagine a younger generation who is watching Speed's experience in Ghana, experiencing Ghanaian culture authentically. That is the seed. In 10 years, when that person has disposable income and is planning a vacation, where do you think Ghana will sit in their mental map of destinations? So we are not talking about today. We are talking about tomorrow. This is not about impressing one person. This is essentially about reaching millions of subscribers and giving us the opportunity to position Ghana before a global audience that traditional marketing could never access. And for those of you who think that, oh, we will move on, it's fleeting, I disagree. Because this is not also about immediate views. You are looking at content that is evergreen. And as long as YouTube lives, this content that is evergreen will be searchable, it will be shareable, it would live on the internet forever. You're looking at TikTok clips, viral clips that will go, out on their own independently. We've seen that from other countries. It's going to be on the internet forever. That's what the news coverage of the tour itself and all of that. It is normal. It is what we call end media, because there's even going to be content from other creators, who are inspired by the trip. Tourism inquiries will definitely shoot up. Investment interest from diasporan entrepreneurs will shoot up. So you can't deny the economic value that this would compound over time. The question isn't, should we care about a YouTuber? The question is, can we afford not to maximize this opportunity? Look, I get it. I understand the skepticism, that comes with conversations like this, because we have serious structural problems. Ghana, Africa as a whole, well, West Africa as a whole, we are dealing with economic inequality, unemployment, infrastructure deficits here and there. A streamer doesn't solve these problems. Yes, it is true. You are right. But you see, from where I sit, my elders in the field will tell you that tourism and cultural visibility aren't substitutes for structural development, but they are not irrelevant either. Tourism generates revenue, and the revenue creates jobs. And whether you like it or not, the positive international perception attracts investment, and that investment is what funds our development. These things are always interconnected, and they are not mutually exclusive. We are just victims of bad leadership. What I say? Last, this dude has been talking about Ghana a lot more than any other African country before the thought of an African tour came to mind. Even in the streams during the African tour, you could clearly tell that the anticipation is so high about coming to Ghana. I remember when he was in Benin, was it Benin or Liberia? I stand to be corrected. When one of the tour guides was talking to him about the door of no return, immediately he heard and it settled within his spirit. The first question he asked was, is that the same thing as what is in Ghana? Is it different from what is in Ghana?
Huh?
The door of no return.
The door of no return?
Yeah, no return. It's symbolic. We're taking away people and we're bringing them back like they went slave. We're taking like king.
The door return.
No
Is it the same like the one in Ghana?
Probably means the same thing. Yeah. It's symbolic. It's basically where they were taking people away.
So you can tell that the guy is supercharged, for his visit to Ghana. How his bodyguard Rudy has been talking about Ghana. The thing, it turned heritage matter. And now it has also become a competition. A healthy one, of course. Right here within the region, the sub-Saharan region. Because mind you, when it comes to tourism on this continent here, we are the loudest. Liberia, I wouldn't blame them that much. I wouldn't, because rarely do they have a strategic tourism position. But Nigeria fumbled their bag. So if you were Ghanaian and it was your time, if it were to be you, like my good friend would say, go strap up and do what you do best with the way this food set. Anyways, that's pretty much all we know as it stands. Things may shift, and if they do, I will definitely come and update you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Please do well to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Like the video, share it, and if you know any of the names I mentioned in this video, you can reach out to them. If they haven't been they haven't been called or they haven't been messaged, just tell them to prepare and position themselves strategically and take advantage of the opportunity and make use of the opportunity when it comes. My name still remains Emmanuel Kwame Sapon, but you know where to find me at Olele Salvador on all social media platforms. This has been another exciting episode of the DTS Intelligence Report. We'll be back again with another exciting episode. See you in the next one.